Another question came up for me. Because our society is so accomplishment focused, even if we're working with what would make us content, we're a social species. We need each other.
Right.
Right? So at what point do you put contentment over, aren't we almost obligated to achieve a certain level of success just so that we can be in society and have friends? And
yes, I think that what it requires is an integration. I call it my animal and my angel. An integration. I personally really like to shop for shoes, and I want to be able to integrate my shoe self with my wise woman, and that it's not an either-or thing like you're saying. It's not. My physical self, my social self, my self that went and got some Botox injections the other day, that part of me is integrated. She needs to integrate with the wise woman and spiritual part of me. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I am a social creature. I want to do social things. I want to have a nice car and nice possessions, but all of that needs to be balanced with my spirit at the same time. I don't believe that neither in this lifetime is more sacred than the other. My ego and my body is definitely a part of my life here, and my spirit is too. And this is an integration, a coming together of all of the parts of me, and knowing that all of it is okay, knowing that all of the parts of me are doing the best possible job they can, being proud of that, finding energy from it, and moving forward.
what about the days when you're not doing the best?
That's okay. I say, okay, not doing so well. I say, it's okay to not do so well some days. I'm a human being. I'm a whole human being. I have hormones, and I have moods, and I have attitudes that don't work for me. I have a lot of things going on. And the secret to feeling better is to say it's okay to feel bad, which kind of gets back to your first question, where it sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. I really don't think it is. Giving myself permission to just be a human being, to not be feeling great all the time, I instantly feel better.
But what's the difference then between someone who can show like self-compassion, it sounds like is what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between someone who does that and someone who is just like, well, I don't care if you think I'm a jerk because that's your problem and I'm just going to continue being mean or stealing or hitting people and just never, and they just never try to do anything different?
Well, I think that when I hear those kind of things, it sounds like they're accepting themselves for who they are, but they're really not. You know, underneath there's a real sense of self-loathing and lots of things they don't want to look at, a lot of pain and suffering. So I hear what you're saying. The attitudes sound the same, but really they're the opposite. Accepting myself, knowing that I would like to be better, is different than giving myself excuses for not taking responsibility for my life. There's a difference.
Mm.
When I accept myself for who I am, with a full intention of growing and changing and expanding, that's taking responsibility for myself. When I say I don't care about anybody else, I just want to be like I am, I'm fine, I'm not really taking responsibility for my evolution. They're actually opposite.
Mm. But they can seem so similar, and sometimes people almost sounds when you speak with people, because there's a certain developmental or spiritual path that we all go through, and sometimes I hear people who are on a spiritual path, but they have that attitude of, well, if you have a problem with anything I say, it's your problem.
Right.
And I mean, of course, there is a shred of truth in that.
Right.
But there's not it's completely not at all taking responsibility.
Yes. I mean, obviously, when you and I or any two of us talk about somebody else, you know, we are making some kind of a judgment, which is absolutely normal. Mm-hmm. But with already well, this is a personal thing where I would say to that person, "Are you content?" And they would say, "I am," and I am, and I don't care what other people think. Well, to be honest with you, I would say, well, where's the connection piece there? There's something going on. There's some defensiveness in that. And when I'm defensive, I'm protecting something. When I'm protecting something, I feel unsafe. So you know, it would take some further exploration, but that's a hard thing to get around when it's somebody else's personality. Mm-hmm. And I say, okay, that's fine, unless they're my patient, you know. But if it's just a person in the universe, I say, you know, I have feelings about that. I have an opinion about that. But certainly there's nothing I'm going to do to change that. And they will, you know, they will reach a point of discomfort with that as well. Mm-hmm. Was that a clear answer to your question? Because that's a tricky question.
No, I think so. I mean, I like what you said. It's true. You mentioned any time we're talking about someone else, we are forming a judgment. I mean, our opinion is a form of judgment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And yet, I mean, I totally see that about other people, and I also notice that we do it to ourselves, too. I mean, we're judging everything constantly. Constantly,
yes. And assessing, it's a fine line, but assessing to me is different than judging. And that's a fine line, and something there's no finite way to measure that. But assessment is a little looser for me. It's a little more like, you know, I need to watch where I'm driving, so to speak. I need to kind of know where I am in the universe. I want to assess another person and say, well, where are they coming from? I mean, they're an animal. They're in the kingdom with me. Are they dangerous? Are they approachable? Who are they? It's perfectly natural. And when I really watch, or when I really notice I'm judgmental, is when I think that I'm better. And not different, but better. And when I feel better than other people, I have some self assessment to do.
It sounds like when we think that we're better, it's almost a way of disconnecting ourselves from others, and I imagine that's a way of protecting ourselves as well.
That's funny you said that. I completely agree, and that kind of reminds me of the question you just asked me about the person that says, and I don't care what people think. First of all, I will say that that's absolutely not true. Because as human animals, we are pack animals. This is just an interesting point. We are pack animals, and we are born and developed to care what other people think of us. Because if we don't watch what other people think of us, we won't keep ourselves inside the pack, and we won't stay safe. We are not lone creatures. So we all naturally and are supposed to care about what other people think of us. But you and I and everybody else knows when that goes too far.
Well, it has been fascinating talking with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Jordan. Just before we close, I'm just wondering if there's anything that you would like to leave listeners with today.
I would like to leave you with the fact that you and the big you and me have worked our tails off to get where we are. We have lived through millions of experiences, good and bad, heartache, failures and successes. We have tried our best to do so many things. We have missed the mark in many ways. But in this society and in this present moment, for us just to have made it this far in this life is quite amazing, and that we're all magnificent.
Well, that sounds like a perfect way to wrap up the show. Thank you so much, Dr. Jordan. All right. Well, we've been speaking with Dr. Denee Jordan, and you can find her at alreadywell.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure serving you, and feel free to check out my website, spiritualshow.com, as well as Dr. Jordan's alreadywell.com. And I just want to send you lots and lots of love for a wonderful week. Be well. I love you so much. And remember to love yourself. Namaste. And coming up next here on CITR is Parts Unknown with DJ Chrisorific. So stick around for that. You already missed Namaste. I'll say it again though. Namaste.